What you sip first thing in the morning does more than wake you up. It sets the chemical stage for your mouth for the next 12 hours. The pH, the saliva flow, which bacteria stick around, and whether your breath will be fighting you or working for you. I'm Dr. Bad Breath, and if you've ever blamed coffee, garlic, or a late-night snack for embarrassing breath, you need to know this. The very first drink after you wake is disproportionately powerful. Small swaps here can lower bacterial adhesion, boost saliva, reduce overnight odor, and even cut down low-grade inflammation that feeds gum trouble. I'm going to walk you through 10 morning drinks that may help support oral health and help your body flush out contributors to bad breath, with exact recipes, timing tips, and safety cautions so you protect your enamel and keep sugar off the menu. Before we start, a quick note. These drinks are supportive measures. They may help, they're linked with certain mechanisms in the research, and I'll point to studies where relevant. None of them replaces brushing, flossing, or a checkup with your dentist. Also, if you're on medications or have medical conditions, check with a clinician, especially if a drink contains concentrated herbs or electrolytes. If you want practical, evidence-minded swaps to improve your breath, hit subscribe. I post short, doable tips every week. Now let's get into why morning matters. Then I'll lay out the drinks and exact how-tos. Overnight, your mouth is a very different place. Saliva production drops while you sleep. That reduced flow concentrates bacterial metabolites and volatile compounds that drive morning breath. At the same time, the surface of your teeth and tongue collect a thin film of bacteria. The first fluid you introduce does two big things at once. It changes pH and starts or suppresses saliva production. That first sip can either wash away acids and wake saliva, or it can bathe your enamel in sugar or acid and give odor-producing bacteria a head start. Studies suggest that drinks with antimicrobial phytochemicals, like green tea catechins, can reduce levels of some oral pathogens. Other beverages simply boost hydration and saliva, which is one of the simplest defenses against bad breath. With that in mind, here are the 10 morning drinks I recommend you know. For each one, I'll give the benefit, the mechanism from an oral health perspective, an exact recipe or preparation tip, and a short safety caveat. I'll flag evidence where it exists and point out enamel or sugar risks so you can use these safely. First, warm salted lemon water. Benefit: wakes saliva, aids gentle oral cleansing, and provides a small mineral boost that can soothe a dry mouth without sugar. Mechanism: the warmth and mild salt stimulate saliva flow. A tiny amount of lemon can help shift pH briefly and provide antimicrobial effects from citrus compounds. But citrus is acidic, so we manage enamel risk.
Recipe: heat 8 ounces, about 250 milliliters, of filtered water until comfortably warm, not boiling. Add the juice of 1/4 of a lemon, about 1 teaspoon, and a pinch of fine sea salt, 1/16 to 1/8 teaspoon. Stir and sip slowly. Safety caveat: keep the lemon content low and dilute. Do not swish lemon water around your teeth. After drinking, rinse your mouth with plain water to lower acidity, and wait at least 30 minutes before brushing. If you have sensitive enamel or visible erosion, limit this to a few times a week and discuss alternatives with your dentist. Second, unsweetened green tea. Benefit: reduces growth of certain oral bacteria and freshens breath without added sugar. Mechanism: green tea contains catechins, which have mild antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce bacterial adhesion and the volatile compounds they produce. Recipe: steep 1 teaspoon, about 2 grams, of loose-leaf green tea, or 1 bag, in 8 to 12 ounces of water at about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, just under boiling, for 2 to 3 minutes. For stronger benefit, use higher quality fresh leaves and don't oversteep. Safety caveat: avoid adding sugar or honey. If you're sensitive to caffeine, choose a decaffeinated green tea early in the morning or limit intake to a single cup. A study showed regular green tea consumption is associated with lower levels of certain oral bacteria linked to gum inflammation. Results vary by dose and quality of the tea. Third, hibiscus infusion, diluted. Benefit: antioxidant support and a tart freshness that can discourage bacterial overgrowth. May help systemic inflammation when used occasionally. Mechanism: hibiscus is high in polyphenols and organic acids that have antipoignals and antioxidant activity. For oral health, we want the antioxidant benefit without prolonged acid exposure to enamel. Recipe: steep 1 tablespoon, about 2 to 3 grams, of dried hibiscus petals in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 minutes. Strain and chill. When ready to drink, dilute with an equal part of cold water, so 4-ounce hibiscus plus 4-ounce water, or keep it as an 8-ounce drink but sip quickly rather than holding it in your mouth. Safety caveat:
Hibiscus is acidic. Always dilute, rinse with plain water after drinking, and wait 30 minutes before brushing. Limit to a few times per week if you have enamel sensitivity. Also, if you take antihypertensive medication or have concerns about blood pressure, check with your provider before making hibiscus a daily habit. It can lower blood pressure in some people. Fourth, cold-pressed cucumber or celery water. Benefit: hydrates, stimulates saliva, and provides minerals with virtually no sugar. Mechanism: these vegetables are mostly water plus electrolytes. They help restore fluid balance and mechanically stimulate saliva flow when sipped cold. A more hydrated mouth is less hospitable to odor-producing anaerobes.
Recipe: for cucumber water, peel half a small cucumber and muddle or thinly slice it. Add slices to 12 ounces of cold filtered water and let steep for 10 to 15 minutes. For celery water, juice 2 medium celery stalks and dilute the juice to make 12 ounces total, about 1 part celery juice to 3 parts water, to reduce sodium concentration while preserving flavor. Safety/caveat: use cold-pressed or fresh juice and dilute to avoid concentrated sugars or sodium. If you have kidney or heart conditions that restrict potassium or sodium intake, check with your clinician before large daily volumes of vegetable juices. Fifth, parsley water or parsley infusion. Benefit: neutralizes volatile sulfur compounds that contribute to halitosis and adds chlorophyll-like freshness. Mechanism: parsley contains volatile oils and chlorophyll derivatives that can bind or mask malodorous compounds and has mild antimicrobial qualities. Recipe: lightly bruise a handful, about 6 to 8 grams, of fresh parsley and steep in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 to 7 minutes, then strain. Cool and sip. Alternatively, infuse parsley in cold water overnight for a milder flavor. Safety/caveat: if you're pregnant or taking warfarin-like anticoagulants, consult your clinician. Parsley contains vitamin K and bioactive compounds that can interact in high amounts. For most people, parsley water is safe in the doses suggested. Sixth, diluted food-grade aloe vera juice. Benefit: soothes mucosal tissues, may reduce local inflammation, and supports a comfortable saliva flow for people with dry or irritated mouths. Mechanism: aloe vera contains mucilaginous polysaccharides and compounds with anti-inflammatory properties that can soothe the oral mucosa and help restore a protective film. Recipe: use a commercially prepared food-grade aloe vera juice that is labeled safe for oral consumption. Mix 1 to 2 tablespoons, 15 to 30 milliliters, of aloe juice into 8 ounces of water. Stir and drink. Safety/caveat: do not use aloe products intended for external use only. Some aloe juices contain laxative compounds. Choose a product labeled decolorized and purified, or inner leaf, with low or no anthraquinones. If you experience gastrointestinal upset, discontinue and consult a clinician. Seventh, nettle or dandelion herbal tea. Benefit: mild anti-inflammatory support and a calming mineral-rich infusion that may indirectly benefit oral tissues by lowering systemic inflammation. Mechanism: nettle and dandelion contain polyphenols and trace minerals and may modulate low-grade inflammatory pathways. Less systemic inflammation can mean less gum inflammation and better breath environment. Recipe: steep 1 teaspoon or 1 teabag of dried nettle or dandelion root or leaf in 8 to 12 ounces of water for 5 to 7 minutes. Drink warm or cooled. Safety/caveat: these herbs can interact with certain medications, notably diuretics, lithium, or blood thinners, so check with your clinician if you're on chronic medications.
Expect mild diuretic effects for some people. Hydrate appropriately. Let me pause here for a clinical snapshot that illustrates how these swaps can play out in real life. I'll be brief and anonymized. A patient in his 40s came to my clinic complaining of persistent morning breath despite brushing twice daily. He was a habitual orange juice drinker every morning and reported a dry mouth on waking. We switched his routine. He replaced the juice with a morning cup of unsweetened green tea one day and a diluted cucumber water on alternating days, added a glass of water on waking, and stopped swishing sugary drinks in his mouth. Within 2 weeks, he reported less rotten morning odor and more saliva on waking. This is anecdotal, so results vary, but it underscores a common pattern: lowering early sugar and acid exposure while boosting hydration and mild antimicrobial compounds often reduces the intensity of morning halitosis. A few evidence notes here. Research suggests that catechins in green tea can reduce Streptococcus mutans adhesion and lower some markers of gingival inflammation when used regularly. Another study found that polyphenol-rich herbal infusions can lower bacterial counts in vitro and in short-term human trials are associated with modest reductions in odor-causing compounds. These studies don't promise a cure. They show mechanisms consistent with what you can expect in the mouth when you make consistent changes.
We've covered 7 practical, low-risk options so far. Each of those supports oral health through either hydration and saliva stimulation, mild antimicrobial or anti-inflammatory action, or breath-neutralizing volatiles, and each comes with a simple prep and an explicit safety step. Before I move on to the last 3, a couple of practical timing and enamel safety rules you should take to heart. First, timing. For most of these supportive drinks, consuming them immediately upon waking, before food, is appropriate because they influence the immediate oral milieu. If a drink is acidic, lemon water, hibiscus, rinse with plain water afterward and wait at least 30 minutes before brushing to avoid mechanical abrasion on softened enamel. For non-acidic drinks like green tea, aloe water, or parsley infusion, you can sip and brush as you normally would after breakfast. Second, quantity. Aim for single servings in the morning, generally 8 to 16 ounces depending on the drink. Too much of any concentrated extract or herb can increase the chance of side effects. Balance is key. For juices or coconut water, prefer low sugar or diluted versions and keep frequency to once daily at most if you're monitoring sugar intake. Third, enamel protection. Whenever a drink contains acid, dilute it, sip rather than swish, and follow with plain water. Using a straw can limit direct contact with teeth, although it's not a perfect solution for everyone.
If you have visible enamel wear or sensitivity, skip acidic infusions and focus on neutral or alkaline options like green tea or cucumber water. Now, before I describe the remaining 3 drinks, the ones most viewers find themselves surprised by, I want to underline one principle that ties all 10 together. No single drink is a silver bullet. These beverages are tools that lower the favorable conditions for odor-producing bacteria, support saliva, and add antimicrobial or anti-inflammatory phytochemicals. Paired with basic oral hygiene, the routine brushing, daily interdental cleaning, hydration, and dentist visits, these swaps compound across days and weeks. I'll pause here with those 7 practical options clearly laid out and tested in clinic patterns and research. Next, I'll walk you through the final 3 drinks, show a simple weekly rotation you can adopt, and give a compact enamel safety checklist so you can start tomorrow without risking damage. 8th, unsweetened cranberry extract drink. Benefit: may reduce bacterial adhesion to teeth and tongue surfaces, helping lower the stickiness that lets odor-producing bugs take hold. Mechanism: cranberry contains proanthocyanidins, PACs, that, in lab and short human studies, interfere with the ability of certain oral bacteria to stick to surfaces. That means less biofilm formation and fewer smelly metabolites over time when used responsibly. Recipe: use a concentrated unsweetened cranberry extract or 100% unsweetened cranberry juice. If using a concentrate or tart unsweetened juice, mix 1 tablespoon, 15 milliliters, of cranberry concentrate into 10 to 12 ounces, 300 to 350 milliliters, of cold filtered water. If you only have 100% unsweetened cranberry juice, dilute 1 part juice to 3 parts water for an 8 to 12 ounce serving. Add a small sprig of mint or a thin slice of cucumber for mouthfeel if desired. Sip, do not swish. Safety caveat: cranberries are acidic and naturally tart. They can erode enamel if consumed straight or frequently. Always dilute, rinse with plain water afterward, and wait at least 30 minutes before brushing. If you're prone to urinary tract issues or take blood thinners, check with your clinician about frequent cranberry use. Keep frequency to once a day at most and consider alternating with neutral options. A number of studies suggest cranberry packs can reduce bacterial adhesion in vitro and are associated with lower rates of bacterial recolonization in short trials. These are promising mechanisms, not cures. 9th, low-sugar coconut water, diluted. Benefit: rapid morning rehydration with electrolytes, which helps restore saliva volume and its buffering capacity. Better hydration equals less concentrated volatile compounds that cause bad breath. Mechanism: coconut water supplies potassium and small amounts of sodium and magnesium, electrolytes that speed fluid balance and help the salivary glands produce more fluid after the overnight dry phase.
Increased salivary flow dilutes odor compounds and supports protective proteins in saliva. Recipe: choose a natural, unsweetened coconut water with minimal added ingredients and less than about 6 to 8 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. For routine oral health use, pour 6 ounces, 180 milliliters of coconut water and dilute with 6 to 10 ounces, 180 to 300 milliliters of filtered water to make a 12 to 16 ounce serving. If you prefer it colder, add a couple of ice cubes or chill beforehand. Safety caveat: coconut water is higher in potassium than plain water. If you have kidney disease or take medications that affect potassium, ACE inhibitors, potassium-sparing diuretics, consult your clinician before making coconut water a habit. Also watch total daily sugar from beverages. Dilute to limit sugar exposure to teeth. Some studies show coconut water supports rehydration effectively and contains bioactive compounds. In oral terms, the main advantage is improved hydration and saliva support rather than direct antimicrobial action. 10th, green tea brewed with fresh ginger and mint. Benefit: combines green tea's catechins with ginger's warming antimicrobial volatiles and mint's immediate breath masking and salivary stimulation, a triple play for breath control and oral comfort. Mechanism: catechins help limit bacterial growth and adhesion.
Ginger contains gingerols and shogawols with mild antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects, and peppermint contains menthol and other volatiles that feel fresh and may reduce perceived odor while stimulating saliva. Recipe: bring 12 ounces, 350 milliliters of water to about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, 80 Celsius. Place 1 teaspoon, 2 grams of loose green tea or 1 green tea bag, 3 to 4 thin slices of fresh ginger, about 3 to 5 grams, and 6 to 8 fresh mint leaves in a teapot or steeping cup. Steep for 2 to 3 minutes, strain into your cup, and sip warm. You can chill and drink cold if preferred. Do not add sweeteners. Safety caveat: ginger can interact with blood thinners and can cause stomach upset in some people. Mint may worsen reflux for individuals with GERD. If you take anticoagulants or have reflux, check with your clinician before daily use. This is a low-acid drink, so it's enamel-friendly compared with citrus or hibiscus. Those are the 10. Each occupies a slightly different niche: acid-managed salivary stimulation, lemon water; catechin antimicrobial action, green tea; antioxidant acid caution, hibiscus; mechanical hydration, cucumber, celery; volatile binding herbs, parsley; mucosal soothing, aloe; systemic herbal support, nettle, dandelion; anti-adhesion, cranberry; electrolyte rehydration, coconut water; and the combined antimicrobial freshness blend, green tea with ginger and mint. Together, they target the core mechanisms that make morning breath worse: low saliva, favorable surfaces for bacteria to stick, acid exposure that softens enamel, and slow clearance of volatile compounds. A practical weekly rotation you can use. You don't need to drink all 10 every morning.
Rotation reduces overexposure to any single herb or acid, spreads the phytochemical benefits, and lowers the risk of side effects. Here's a simple sample you can start with and adapt. Monday, unsweetened green tea, plain, gentle antimicrobial start. Tuesday, diluted cucumber water, hydration and saliva stimulation. Wednesday, unsweetened cranberry extract drink, diluted, anti-adhesion boost, rinse after. Thursday, green tea with ginger and mint, flavorful antimicrobial and saliva stimulation. Friday, warm salted lemon water, low lemon, saliva wake up if enamel is healthy, otherwise swap for aloe. Saturday, aloe vera diluted in water, mucosal soothing and comfort, good for sensitive mouths. Sunday, hibiscus infusion diluted or nettle tea, pick the gentlest you prefer, rinse after hibiscus. Swap coconut water in after intense exercise, or if you wake dry, e.g. travel. Use parsley water periodically as a breath refresher after a heavy protein dinner previous night. Keep acidic options, lemon, hibiscus, cranberry, to a few times a week unless your enamel is robust and your dentist has cleared you. If you have sensitive teeth, rotate predominantly neutral options, green tea, cucumber water, aloe, and discuss enamel-strengthening toothpaste or treatments with your dentist. Timing rules to follow. Drink these on waking, before food, if your goal is to modify the immediate oral environment after an overnight dry state. For acidic drinks, rinse your mouth with plain water after finishing, and wait 30 minutes before brushing. The acid softens enamel. Brushing too soon increases abrasion. For non-acidic drinks, green tea, aloe, cucumber water, you can sip and brush per your normal routine after breakfast. Keep serving sizes to 8 to 16 ounces in the morning. Concentrated herbal extracts should be used in the small measured amounts above, not as straight shots. If you plan to have coffee, wait a bit after your chosen morning drink, or consider making your first beverage the coffee itself, but combine it with a hydrating glass of water or a cucumber celery rinse beforehand to avoid compounding dryness and acidity. Enamel protection checklist. Dilute acidic beverages and sip. Don't swish. Use a straw where practical to reduce contact with front teeth. Immediately follow acidic drinks with a plain water rinse to wash away residual acids. Wait at least 30 minutes before brushing after an acidic drink. Use a soft bristle toothbrush and fluoride toothpaste to strengthen enamel. If you have sensitivity, discuss desensitizing toothpaste or professional fluoride with your dentist. Limit sugary beverages in the morning. If you must have juice, always dilute and restrict frequency to once daily at most. Consider chewing xylitol gum, sugar-free, for 10 to 15 minutes after breakfast to stimulate saliva and reduce bacterial adhesion. Xylitol is well studied for reducing mutant streptococcus levels when used appropriately.
Discuss sealants, fluoride varnish, or professional remineralization if you have visible enamel wear. When to avoid a drink or check with a clinician. You're on medications that interact with herbs or electrolytes, e.g. diuretics, blood thinners, ACE inhibitors, lithium. Check with your prescriber. You have kidney disease, heart failure, or electrolyte restrictions. Be cautious with concentrated vegetable juices or coconut water. You have GERD or reflux. Peppermint or high mint preparations may worsen symptoms. You have advanced enamel erosion or sensitivity. Avoid acidic options and seek dental advice for remineralizing strategies. You are pregnant. Avoid concentrated parsley or high doses of certain herbs. Check with your prenatal care provider. More practical tips that help more than you'd expect. The single simplest swap for many people is to replace a sugary or acidic morning juice with an 8-ounce glass of filtered water, followed by one of the low-acid options. That alone often reduces morning odor intensity in a week or two. If you like a morning citrus note but worry about enamel, consider adding a single drop of lemon essential flavor, food grade, to a full glass of water instead of squeezing fresh lemon. The flavor perception can reduce sugar cravings without the same acid exposure, but only use certified food grade products and very small amounts. Brush your tongue gently. Up to a third of morning halitosis originates on the dorsal tongue. Use a tongue scraper or the back of your toothbrush, gently, after you wait the recommended 30 minutes when you've had an acidic drink. Don't rely on minty toothpaste alone. A strong mint flavor masks odor but doesn't fix the microbial or hydration issues that produce it. Pair mint flavors with hydrating, low-sugar habits. If you're a coffee drinker, alternate your first cup with one of these supportive drinks on some mornings to break the cycle of acidity and dehydration. 2 anonymized clinical anecdotes, labeled so you know they're not universal. Anecdote 1. Anecdotal. A woman in her mid-30s came in complaining of persistent on and off morning halitosis. She was healthy, brushed twice a day, and rinsed with an antiseptic mouthwash each evening. She reported she drank a large glass of orange juice every morning and often sipped coffee through the morning. We suggested she replace the orange juice with diluted cucumber water and to alternate green tea and parsley water on different mornings, and to hydrate immediately with a plain glass of water on waking. She also started scraping her tongue gently after breakfast. In 4 weeks, she noticed a marked reduction in the intensity of the morning odor and felt less dryness on waking. This is anecdotal. Individual results vary, but it illustrates how reducing morning sugar and increasing simple hydration alters the mouth's chemistry quickly.
Anecdote 2. Anecdotal. A patient in his 50s with sensitive teeth and long-standing halitosis avoided acidic drinks for months. He tried aloe water diluted each morning and a weekly rotation that emphasized green tea and parsley. He reported less tongue coating and improved comfort when eating in the morning. He also spoke with his dentist about sensitivity and received a fluoride varnish, which together improved his tolerance for better oral care habits. Again, this is individual and paired with professional care. A few evidence-minded notes to anchor these practices. Green tea catechins. Multiple studies indicate catechins have inhibitory effects on common oral bacteria and may reduce markers of gingival inflammation when used consistently. The effect is dose-dependent and tied to quality of the tea and frequency of consumption. Cranberry proanthocyanidins. Laboratory and short-term clinical studies show packs can reduce bacterial adhesion, particularly for bacteria that use hair-like adhesins to cling to enamel and mucosal surfaces. These findings are mechanistic and promising for reducing early-stage biofilm formation. Hibiscus and polyphenol-rich herbal infusions. In vitro studies and small human trials suggest antioxidant and antimicrobial activity, but frequent consumption of acidically potent infusions require enamel precautions. Coconut water and rehydration. Hydration science supports coconut water as an effective rehydrator because of its electrolyte profile. In the context of oral health, the main benefit is increased saliva and dilution of volatile metabolites, rather than direct antimicrobial potency. Putting this into daily practice without overcomplicating mornings. Start simple. Pick one low-acid hydration option and one herbal option to rotate across the week. For many people, the easiest starting pair is a plain glass of water on waking, followed by unsweetened green tea. Add cucumber or parsley water twice a week. Use cranberry or hibiscus sparingly and always diluted. Keep coconut water for post-exertion or very dry mornings. If you'd like, choose a starter week. Week 1 starter. Day 1, plain water, then green tea. Day 2, plain water, then cucumber water. Day 3, plain water, then green tea with mint. Day 4, plain water, then aloe vera diluted. Day 5, plain water, then parsley infusion. Day 6, plain water, then diluted cranberry. Rinse after. Day 7, plain water, then coconut water diluted, post-run, or nettle tea. Monitor how your mouth feels on waking. Less dryness, less coating on the tongue, less rotten character to the odor. If you notice increased sensitivity, stop acidic beverages and consult your dentist. Common questions, quick answers. Can I have lemon water every day if I love it? You can, but keep the lemon small, about 1 teaspoon juice per 8 ounces. Dilute, rinse afterward, and wait 30 minutes before brushing. If you have visible enamel wear, choose safer options like green tea or cucumber water. Q. Is cranberry safe if I take blood thinners? Check with your clinician. Cranberry is generally safe in moderate amounts for most people, but if you are on warfarin or similar medications, confirm with your prescriber because interactions have been reported in rare cases. Q. Will these drinks replace mouthwash? No. These beverages support oral health through hydration, pH modulation, and phytochemicals. They complement but do not replace brushing, interdental cleaning, and professional dental care. For stubborn halitosis, see your dentist to check for dental or medical causes. Q. How long until I notice a change? Anecdotally, some people notice less intense morning odor within a week. Measurable changes in gum inflammation or plaque tend to take longer and depend on overall oral care. Be consistent for several weeks to assess an effect. Final practical checklist before you start tomorrow. Choose one morning drink from the list and prepare the exact recipe the night before when practical, so you'll actually drink it. Keep a glass of plain water by your bed. Sip immediately on waking.
If your choice today is acidic, lemon, hibiscus, cranberry, dilute it and plan to rinse with water afterward. Wait 30 minutes before brushing. Track your mouth for 2 weeks. Note dryness, tongue coating, and perceived odor intensity each morning. If you have chronic dry mouth, visible gingival bleeding, persistent bad breath despite changes, or ongoing dental pain, make an appointment with your dentist. These can be signs that need professional care. To close, the first sip matters. That single habitual habit you do every morning is an opportunity. Swap a sugar-laden juice for a simple green tea, or replace a second cup of coffee with cucumber water on some days. These small, repeatable choices reduce bacterial advantage, boost saliva, and create a mouth environment that favors freshness. Over weeks, those micro-changes compound. Less bacterial adhesion, more saliva, reduced volatile compounds, and fewer days you feel embarrassed by your breath. Which one will you try tomorrow morning? Comment below with your pick. And if you found this useful, share it with someone who could use a fresher start to their day. If you want more practical, evidence-minded swaps for oral health, subscribe. I post simple, clinically grounded tips every week.